Here, Faust. I finished making notes towards y'all's next mission towards this random city. Let's get to Vigilius. Oh, I gotta do what? I gotta introduce them to the new recruits? Okay, that's cool. Wait, does that mean do I get a promotion? And she's walking away. Okay. Well, hello everyone. I am your host, Dev Universe, and today we're starting something new. I want to dive deep into video game characters, not just as units you just level up or story beats you just click through, but as people we can actually connect with. Welcome to Limbus Company. And today we're starting with our first sinner, Gregor. I really hope I get the promotion. On the surface, sure, he's just the bug guy, but if you stick with his story, you'll see he represents so much more. For example, survivor's guilt, hidden pain behind humor, and what it's like to live with scars that never really healed. Before we break down Gregor himself, let's set the stage. What even is Limbus Company? So, for anyone new, Limbus Company is a gacha RPG made by Project Moon, the same team behind Lobotomy Corporation and Library of Runia. If you ever played those games, you already know they love getting dark. Gameplay wise, it mixes stories driven chapters called cantos with tactical turn based combat. But what really makes it stand out is the tone. This isn't some bright and cheerful JRPG world. It's gritty. It's uncomfortable. It feels like the characters are barely holding it together. Because they are. You play as Dante, the mysterious figure with a little clock on his head, who leads a group of 12 sinners, each with their own dark past. The best way I can describe the vibe of Limbus Company, imagine Chainsaw Man world view with a lot of Dark Souls atmosphere. Plus a lot of SCP references to this game. And within this world, every character represents something broken, but something real. Which brings us back to Gregor. So, Gregor Samsa, yes. So, Gregor Samsa, yes. His name is a direct reference to Kafka's Metamorphosis. And like that story, Gregor's whole life is tied to becoming something not quite as human anymore. His sinner number is 13. He already lived through his war, made his mistakes, and it's carrying those regrets with him. He was a soldier in the famous Smoke War, fighting under G Corp. That war was brutal. Soldiers were like lab rats, experimented on, mutated, dehumanized, all that. Gregor survived, but he didn't walk away unscarred. These days, he hides behind a laid back personality. He calls Dante Miniature Bud, cracks jokes, tries to keep things light. He often feels like the older brother of the group. But that's just the front. Inside, he's drowning in guilt. Guilt for surviving when others didn't. Guilt for what he became. His body still shifts into an insect, like parts, a constant physical reminder of what happened to him. He might look like a jokester of the team, but deep down, Gregor is someone who can't stop looking back. The story comes through Kanto 1, The Outcast, And in this chapter, his mask starts to slip. At first, he seems fine, just another day traveling with the group. But as the story unfolds, his past slowly surfaces. He reflects on the Smug War, on how people like him were treated as tools, not humans. He tries to stay calm, makes jokes, but when the war is brought up, you can see the cracks. He's exhausted. At one point, he even admits he's not sure if he's deserved to keep going. That hits hard because it's not about whether he can survive, it's whether he should keep going, whether he can forgive himself or live what happened. What powerful is how the story doesn't paint him as a hero or villain. He's just a man stuck between someone who did what he had to do and now has to live with it. By the end of the chapter, nothing nearly resolved. He doesn't magically forgive himself. He doesn't find peace. But what we do get is a clear look of how deep his pain runs and how much of his joking, caring attitude is a shield. So, why does Gregor's story stick with people? Obviously, most of us aren't ex-soldiers with bugs, mutations, and a little cockroach on our shoulder named Pablo. By the way, this is Pablo right here. But what Gregor goes through hits on something deeply. Gregor represents living with invisible scars, the kind that shapes how you act, how you treat people, and how you carry yourself every day. Think about it. How many times do you have to crack a joke to hide that you're hurting inside, or put on a smile so no one worries about you? Gregor does that constantly. He keeps his pain tucked away, not wanting to drag the group down. He also embodies survivor guilt. That's heavy question of why am I the one who only made it? For people who live through trauma or loss, that feels all too real. And the insect transformation, that's such a clear metaphor. For him, it's literally is. For us, could be insecurity, trauma, regret, anything about ourselves that we hate but can't escape. But what makes Gregor inspiring isn't his pain. It's that he keeps going. He doesn't let his scars define him. His jokes, he fights, he keeps trying. And that's something we can learn from him. Even if you feel broken, even if your past is heavy, you can still keep moving forward. It doesn't erase the pain, but it proves you're more than what happened to you. And that's Gregor. He is one of my favorite characters in Limbus. Well, while playing the game, all the characters are my favorite in a way. Except for one character that I put above all of them for one of the there's one Pacific sinner named Don Quixote that I can't wait to talk about later. But Gregor, he's a reminder of what it means to live with pain and still find a way to laugh, to care, to keep going. So what do you think? The Gregor story hits you the same way? For our next chapter, we're going to talk about Rodion and how she is and how we can compare her with our life. Thank you guys for watching, listening. I want to say that all the art and gameplay is shown is from Project Moon. And thank you, Project Moon, of making this game. And I can't wait to tell more stories. about our great sinners. Thank you. Like and subscribe. And next, we're going to the casino. Take care, guys.